Right. We'll move on to our next our next session. So I'd like to introduce Peter Brady, who's the CEO of Orbital, and he's going to talk a little bit about a collaboration between Orbital, the NHS University of Suffolk, and also you'll find that Peter will be online live. So if you have any questions during this session, please post it in the chat, and Peter's agreed to answer those questions as we go through this. So on that note, I'll hand over to Peter.
Hello, I'm here to talk to you about the value of collaborative innovation. My name is Peter Brady. I'm Chief Executive Officer of OrbitalGlobal. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of background about Orbital and its divisional structure. So under OrbitalGlobal, we've got our Orbital Media Digital Services Agency division, which has been operational for 20 years and operates on a global basis, working with a variety of large corporates and different organizations. We have Orbital Innovations, which is our vehicle for licensing innovative technologies. And we have Orbital Research, which is pioneering new digital research technologies into the marketplace for healthcare. So we're one of the fastest growing suppliers of digital healthcare technology in the UK, which is fantastic and something we've been building up to for many years and are developing and growing quickly in that context. Our innovations focus on artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality, and gamification. And often our technologies will converge these into solutions that we deploy into the marketplace. We're very lucky to work with a wide variety of fantastic global corporates and organizations, and we deploy these technologies into these organizations on a global basis. So I just want to give you a little bit of background or insight into our process for innovation. So our sort of logic, if you like, for developing innovations is to firstly identify the need or commercial challenge. That's a real key aspect or driver for us to developing a new technology or innovation. The second is really, once we've got our idea or concept and we've done all the research, we've done all our competitor analysis and everything behind that, we then want to identify how we're going to deliver that innovation. What's the process for delivery? And then finally, is obviously once you've got your delivery process and you've got your end product, it's the commercialization, developing the deployment of that into the marketplace for commercialization and growth and scale up. So I'm going to talk through an example for us. We're very fortunate. We have lots of technologies that we're developing and deploying to the marketplace, but this is a particular case study that I just wanted to outline to you to give you an example and insight in terms of the process of collaboration and what the end results were and the process behind that. So we identified this piece of information, which I think was quite striking for us, that up to 93% of asthma sufferers misuse their metered dose inhalers, which was quite a shocking statistic for us when we found this. The misuse can result in less than 5% of the medicine reaching the lungs, so there's real implications for patients with this issue. And the really interesting aspect of this is that we noticed there was a really strong direct correlation with inhaler misuse and an alarming deterioration in healthcare outcomes and rising mortality rates in the population. Common mistakes in relation to this include not removing the inhaler cap, not shaking the inhaler, mixing up the different types of inhalers, so the rescue and preventer inhalers often are mixed up and misused, and poor inhalation techniques. There's really quite a large number of issues here going on in terms of the understanding of how to self-treat and self-apply this treatment. And an interesting insight or finding from our perspective was to also identify that actually that there was an issue with the training for inhalers and inhaler treatment itself. So we noticed that up to or over 90% healthcare professionals who are actually training incorrectly themselves. This is having a huge impact in the UK at the moment and also globally. So 1.1 billion pounds is spent each year on asthma treatments and care. So it's a really enormous problem and very, very costly to treat and deal with. And then you have the kind of the human results or products of this issue. So there's up to almost 15 people die each year from asthma, and that's 3 people dying each day. So it's a sort of staggering problem that's really having a significant impact on people's lives, and that's something that we felt that we wanted to address and could be addressed with technology. So that leads nicely into the solution and a pathway to better asthma healthcare outcomes, which is really what we wanted to try and target. So the facts, we then had this idea, this thought process that there was this major issue. But what could we do to address that? Now, there was for us some really interesting research which showed the light or light at the end of the tunnel, or a pathway, if you like, to a solution. So we had this research which really identified that through better management, that up to 2/3 of asthma deaths could be prevented, which is a staggering statistic, really. Comprehensive inhaler training programs could have a really dramatic impact and reduce emergency admissions by up to 50%, reduce asthma-related deaths by up to 75%, and a significant reduction of costs associated with inhaler prescriptions. So really, we know from this research that was conducted that actually better training, better understanding and appreciation of the condition and also of the treatments and how to use those treatments can have really quite dramatic outcomes. But the slight problem is that these programs are very, very costly and time consuming. So this is obviously can be a hindrance to actually applying what could be a really effective solution to helping to alleviate this growing problem within the asthma patient community. So from our perspective, that was really the basis and the pathway for moving forward with developing an innovation or innovation solution for this problem. And therefore, for us, it was looking around at available technologies that we could use, that we could develop, that we could innovate, that we could converge with different channels of technology. And in this instance, we identified that we wanted to automate the process. So we wanted to automate the process of education and information for asthma sufferers. And we wanted to do that in a really engaging, informative way. And we wanted to do that using augmented reality and gamification. We felt that it was really important to try and target asthma sufferers at a young age. So our first target was to really hit the 6 to 13-year-old bracket and promote that really effective engagement, education, and encourage long-term recall of key information. So we wanted to then identify the delivery for this technology. Now that we've got our idea, our concept, we wanted to know how we're going to actually produce this technology. And Orbital has a huge amount of experience around gamification, developing new technologies and innovation. But we did identify that we had some weaknesses in innovating within the augmented reality space. And it is quite a new space, relatively new technology in its infancy of deployment. And therefore, we wanted to really tap into some expert capabilities for that. So we identified that a great opportunity emerged for us to collaborate, and collaborative innovation was really what we wanted to try and achieve through this project. And through that, we found the quite amazing facility that's available through Innovate UK called a knowledge transfer partnership. And we were able to link up with University of Suffolk on their first ever knowledge transfer partnership project, and to come up with the inception for that project with them, which was fantastic. So as a result of that collaboration, which was over 12 months with the University of Suffolk, we were able to develop an amazing technology that was groundbreaking in providing healthcare education and training to users. And as I say, that was a very effective collaboration with the University of Suffolk, who worked with us. The academics worked with us. We had an associate that was embedded in the business developing the technology with us. And our developers were working with that associate and working with the University of Suffolk to produce this groundbreaking piece of technology. It was a world-first technology that combines the very latest augmented reality and gamification capability. So all our knowledge about usability, user interfaces, user experience, the latest augmented reality that's native within Android and iPhones and iOS and other things, that was all brought to bear onto the technology and producing something that was really effective and deliverable. We then were able to create an amazing research project. And we were able to test this on local children within the region between the ages of 6 to 12 to test our thesis or hypothesis that this technology would be really effective at producing the results that we anticipate in terms of recall and engagement and general effectiveness in enabling children to remember the important aspects of using and treating asthma, and also understanding their condition a lot better and the triggers for their treatment. So creating asthma plans, for instance, as part of our technology was a key thing. And this research was fantastic. It really gave us a gold standard capability for outlining the capabilities and effectiveness of the technology, and it won an award at the COPD and Asthma Conference in Dubai, which was brilliant. The technology was featured on BBC Click recently, which was great, and it's now part of a significant procurement program within both the NHS and overseas, which is so exciting for us, having put so much energy and time and effort in this collaboration with University of Suffolk to now be producing something that's going to have a meaningful impact on asthma populations. And it's a gateway technology for many other healthcare initiatives, which is really exciting. So I'm going to play a little video which shows this technology in action. So just to quickly run through the benefits that we then identified from developing this technology, both for sufferers and carers on the front line. So this was really delivering approved asthma inhaler training and asthma information training in a uniformly correct way. So across the population, we're able to deliver this really valuable, important information about asthma and asthma treatment. It's aligned with children's preferred communication and learning habits using smartphones and tablets. It's engaging and fun for children to use, and that really came through in our research, and that's a really obviously important aspect to actually cutting through and actually having that meaningful dialogue with children about these important issues. It's easy for us to assess the effectiveness of the training via a Q&A test in the application. And the academic research that we undertook really showed the effectiveness of the technology in delivering that information in a very effective and meaningful way. And we had this amazing piece of data that came through the peer-reviewed research, which it came out 70% better than in effectiveness over other methods of education, healthcare education. It automates training and saves healthcare professional time, freeing them up to have other conversations and do other things with patients. It's a very low cost of deployment, and potentially huge cost savings are available by using this technology. And ultimately, our collaborative innovation with the University of Suffolk is going to help save lives and improve healthcare outcomes, which is a really satisfying endpoint for us. For this project, that we know that that's going to be the ultimate epitaph, if you like, of MYSPIRA. And this is just the beginning of the technology. We've got plans to produce virtual reality versions, adult versions, and many other iterative aspects to this application to take it forward both in the UK and internationally. And that's really satisfying that collaboration has produced something so meaningful and so transformative for our business. So that's the end of my presentation and the story, if you like, of our development of innovation in a collaborative way with the University of Suffolk. I hope that's of interest, and thank you for your time.